Hello, welcome to the HolmFront, where we keep everything objectively subjective. I'm Tyler, your host, and to my right, as always, is Mitch, my overly artistic friend.
I'm in a bad mood. No. Actually, I'm in a great mood. That was fun. I'm glad we decided to do this.
In the worst of ways. We did three other videos. We did three. On the show by DailyWire about Pendragon, which is a series of novels written by Stephen R. Lawhead. They've been torturous, every one of them. We're just gonna come right out the gate. This show's bad. It's really bad. Really, really bad.
Yeah, we said that last time. We covered all the reasons why it was bad, but it's uniquely bad. It does things that not a lot of other filmmakers make mistakes anymore. Like, these are things that typically get addressed, and this one just commits them over and over and over and over. So it becomes a very nauseating experience. But it is a lot of fun, these last two episodes, because whenever something's strange and kind of incomprehensible, there's always a charm to that of like, what's happening?
Yeah, why?
How did we get here? And there's some real doozies. There's one that's shockingly bad when we get to
that for sure.
Yeah.
But let's save that one.
Oh, we're going to save it.
But it's bad.
But it's mind-blowing how this decision made it to the final cut.
How it was overlooked is really the point.
Yeah.
And maybe there's some reason. If you guys know the reason when we get there, just leave it in the comments. Maybe it'll help shed some light. But I thought over this over and over, and I was like, no, this is just a glaring mistake. It's a big mistake. Okay. So I just wanted to jump off the bat. It was incomprehensible. It seems like they had all the pieces that they needed, and if they had put them in the right sequence, it could have worked. But instead, the sequences are just kind of scattered throughout all of the episodes. So things just kind of happen every once in a while that you're just like, wait, what are we doing here? Who's that? Where are we? Why are we doing that?
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Before I made a complaint that there's no map showing me like where things are. And then in these last two episodes, I was recognizing, they are putting up this title of where we are. But every time they did that, there was no map. So it was just to the background of some woods or whatever. And I'm like,
you just get to know the name of the place. Not where it is,
and
just
it was
what it's
always
called.
A different name. Or if there was a repeated place they went to, I couldn't catch it because they never really speak about it. It's just like, here it is. So it's almost like the characters, they could have been walking around like Lothlorien or something, Middle Earth, and just put in Middle Earth names for all the locations. That actually would have been more helpful to me, because then there would have had to have been an established distance between places, like how far.
Not today. Not today.
Anyways, that was a complaint I had before. It's still an issue here.
It's still an issue. It was very confusing as to where you were, how far you were from anything, what timeline you were in. That was another thing. It jumps between a couple of timelines. And there's points where you're like, wait, are we in the future now? Are we in the past? Are we somewhere in between? So, don't know.
You'd think you could just pick up on cues that let you know, like, oh, this character's older, or oh, this character, brandishes a sword now. So therefore, they're in a different stage. Something that clue you in.
A beard.
Actually, there is one. There's a guy who had an arm, but then in a different timeline does not have an arm. So that was the one clue you get. So if he's in the scene, you have a little bit of help. If he's not in the scene, you're screwed.
A lot tougher. Okay, so let's start with this. Did you like anything about it besides the horribleness?
I did like the horribleness. That was wildly entertaining.
Okay.
I did like Brett Cooper a lot. She was finally in the movie, in the scene, and
she got one episode.
That's all she got. That was so lame.
I was expecting 3 or 4. The 7 episode series, she got one, and even that, she got half of it.
Yeah, it wasn't enough. No. And there's an instance where she has this exchange with Merlin. So Merlin, he starts off the episode with this hill tribe people, and I guess he learns some stuff from them or whatever, and then he leaves.
We don't know what he learned, but he learned some stuff.
They kind of just exposit to us a little bit, and then they move on. And so then he's off by himself to pursue some purpose, I guess. And then he's by a lake, and then this boar comes past, and then Brett Cooper is riding a horse, and she's chasing the boar, and she kind of sees him. And then she hunts down the boar, and he catches up to her because he thinks she's super hot. And then
it happens.
Yeah, well, she is. And then and then they have this little dialogue exchange. They're kind of figuring out who's who. And so he asks for her name, And then she asks to know like where he's from and stuff. And he's like, oh, like kind of, he doesn't really give, he's like, well, I was with these people, but I left or whatever. It's kind of vague. And she's like, well, that's just not a very clear answer. And he's like, what's your name? And she's like, well, I'm not going to give you my name if you're not going to give me a clear answer. And she's kind of toying with him. It's not a good line. No. But the way she executes it, you can tell that there's a bit of like playfulness and a little bit of like, I'm just doing this in half to tease you.
Right.
I'm perfectly content to give you my name. I just don't want to because this is more interesting and fun.
Yeah.
So
a little bit of verbal banter. There's a lot of sincerity that comes off of her. Just like off of Merlin, they both have a lot of sincerity.
Yeah, those two actors were probably the best out of everybody.
Yeah.
And so when you put them together, it was like, okay, well, even if the script is bad, these two are kind of holding their own through it. But then like
the script is bad.
They rush it too much. Because then it's like there's just a straight up romance and the two are together. And you're like, wait a minute.
It's the first night.
Yeah,
she comes and like snuggles up to him. I was like...
And not even like a little bit. It's just like a wiggle my way in.
And I gotta say,
okay.
As soon as they get to the hall, Merlin witnesses her dad. And her name's Ganyetta or something.
Yeah.
Brett Cooper's dad has somebody murdered.
Oh, that was such a great scene.
He's like feeds him to his dogs. If I was Merlin and this chick wants to cuddle after I see that, I'm like, no way. Get away from me. I saw what your dad can do. I'm not doing this. You go find somebody else.
Yeah, that's the thing. They don't react at all. Like they're having dinner or whatever, and then Brett Cooper's character and Ganyetta or whatever, and then Merlin, they come in and they're kind of like in the back, so people aren't really acknowledging
she's like,
them.
let me introduce you to my dad. And he goes, cool.
And then when she does, her dad is in the process of like scolding this guy who's, I guess, a traitor in his eyes because he sheltered like Saxons or something like that. And then he's just like, well, you're going to have to die. You're going to pay for that. So he sticks his dog on him and just eats him. And like when it happens too, this is a clear sign of bad directing.
Yeah, oh my
where
gosh.
It shows the guy, he's like, oh, wait, have mercy. And he gets down on his knees. But then there's a shot where he's like, it's just on him. And then it pans down and you see him like pull up a knife.
But
and
it's
then he
like,
stands up.
How did no one in this room see that?
Yeah, we're all watching it happen.
The king standing right in front of him, like, I can see you. I know what you're doing.
It's like those Batman jokes where Batman like thinks he's left, and then someone's like, I can still see you. It's like that.
Yeah,
one of those.
He's like running out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was like, there's a scene I equated to the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood where Cliff Booth is standing there, and all the three like have their guns and their knives and stuff.
Uh-huh.
But Cliff Booth has a dog that he has at the ready, but no one's really like paying attention to.
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as someone moves on him, he takes control of the situation. He gives a little click, and the dog goes after the guy. And it's like, okay, but here they had some verbal banter before that happens. In this scene, the guy's like, "I pledge my allegiance. Shh. I hope this is subtle enough." And it's like, everyone saw what you did. Everybody, like, there's no question about what your intentions were. So he sicks the dog on him, of course. And these are like, if you're familiar with the breed, they're called cane corsos.
Mm-hmm.
Big dogs. I would not want to go against that dog. But the thing like rips out his throat. But then Ganyetta is like, this is probably a bad time to talk to my dad. We should go. So they leave the room, but the dad chases after him. And he's like, who are you, young man? And he's like, I'm Merlin. And they're like, oh, it's good to meet you, Merlin. This guy's getting
conversation as this guy's getting chewed
This guy's getting eaten right now. Like, we don't want to like be away from this. Like, he's like, oh, come eat in my go get changed first, and then we're gonna eat. Like, dude, maybe no one wants to be in there right now.
Give me five. Give me five. I just gotta tidy up a little.
We gotta clean the blood off. You understand? Like, why are we taking like? And Ganyetta even is just kind of like
I'll
that's
smile
my
along.
dad. Like, what?
Oh, dear old dad is always having someone butchered by the dogs.
Yep, just another Tuesday for him. Like, dude, no, I want to leave.
Like, imagine, like, this is something that Game of Thrones would have done to make sure that you understood how evil this character was.
This is an insane character.
Right. He just murders somebody with a dog and then it's like, who are you in my house? And then you're just like, oh, man, this guy's off his rocker.
But they would actually, like, sit down and eat. And the guy's still dying in the background, but they have to eat because they know, might be next.
Right.
But in this one, it's like, this is just an everyday occurrence. He betrayed me. You understand. What? It's a horrible way to die.
In this house, can't be too soft these days.
He's getting his larynx ripped out. It's fine. Whatever. Anyway,
it cuts to the dinner scene, and they're having dinner, and you're still just sitting there going like,
this is the same room.
this is the same room that
There's
guy
a
was just.
big old stain right there.
Oh man,
That's Jack. Anyway. Okay. All that to say, by the way, Brett Cooper, hardcore underused and underutilized.
yeah,
She gets such a small scene, and the sincerity that she brings is like a breath of fresh air with this show. It's like, at least I get it.
right.
Like, you're in love with the guy. Okay, cool. We can at least build on this, right?
Yeah.
They're like, oh, she dies. Can we have a minute? Like, nah.
Well,
No, she's
before she
gone.
dies, though, she does paint a picture of Cthulhu.
She does.
Which I thought was an
thought-
inspired choice.
We thought it was foreshadowing, and we were kind of hoping. Yeah, she's like,
Why does she paint Cthulhu? It's like this tentacle monster.
Well,
I was
they're
like,
the-
what the crap?
they're part of the like sea people or something, so their sigils like the octopus. So she's just painting a shield. But that's like the one scene where you get to see what her hobby is,
Hmm.
and then they just move on. But she gets pregnant by Merlin, and then she's killed. You don't know by whom or why. My guess it's Morgan, like behind the scenes manipulating things. But then Merlin goes on this like murderous rage, and I was like, this is kind of cool. It's like an Anakin thing.
Well, hold on.
get
Before that happens, because he's traveling with her
Yeah.
first, right? We
Oh,
don't
that's
know why
right.
they're traveling, but he's with her because you're like, well, how did he let this happen? So what happens is the hill people come back.
Right.
And they're like just standing off awkwardly. And then
Well,
Merlin's
a
like,
different tribe come up, and they're like, hey, your tribe person's dying. So you
So-
should go see her.
you ought to go be there for
Yep.
her. So for some reason, Merlin doesn't just take Brett Cooper and everybody with him, because I don't see why that would be a problem. I mean, obviously had an errand they were doing, but we never knew what that errand was. So I'm thinking, well, I guess it's not that important if we don't know what it is. So you may as well just come with. But that doesn't happen. So he abandons her to go be with his mentor Yoda as Granny Yoda dies.
Granny Yoda, that's what we're calling
That's what we're gonna call her.
Okay.
I mean, the scene was
The
a
similarities
straight up ripoff
a
of
lot.
Return of the Jedi. Exactly like, "My 900 years you are."
Forever sleep. She even
Talking about
says,
sleep.
yep, she's got to rest now. I was like, this sounds familiar.
When you said you're like, I wonder if she's gonna disappear, I was like, oh man.
I was half convinced.
I was like, that could happen. She could
wouldn't be
straight up just
surprised.
evaporate. That would make a lot of sense.
I would have loved it, actually, if they'd done that, but they didn't. Foreshadowing, sorry.
Anyway, so he does that. And you're like, okay, whatever. So that was a pointless scene. He's just with her for her to die. Like, I mean, it's nice, I guess, for sentimental reasons, but also it just seems like he couldn't do anything. So you're like, okay, why was he there?
So let's point out one of the fundamental problems with the show here, because I think this points to it. So Merlin wanders off from his mom early in life, joins the Hill tribe. He's picked up by them, and then eventually he like goes through some kind of training or something with them. You understand this part of his upbringing. So then later in life, he like leaves them. He has to go out on his own, and that's when he meets Brett Cooper's character. The thing is, we don't get any time to meet and spend time with the Hill tribe, so we don't know them. We just know that he looks up to this one character because she's like the elder of the village or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So when she's dying, it's important to him. But
Well,
it's
she ate his snack when he had his droid. I'm sorry, I'm thinking of something else.
Oh, right, yeah.
He gave him that word of wisdom when he put him through the
Gonna
trial.
need it to get
remember?
out of this slimy mud hole. Mud hole. Anyway, so it's important that he says goodbye to this lady, but you don't know, like, you don't.
It's important to him, not to the viewer.
not to us. We haven't
Yeah.
grown up with this person, so like to us, the emotional impact's not there, except that it's important to Merlin. This is a constant theme through this show.
Yeah.
No one gets the time to like really develop. They just want their cake at the end. They want you to like enjoy the cake at the end, but you're like,
Mhm.
I have to understand why it's important that Boromir is sacrificing himself for the hobbits in order for me to get the emotional reaction that comes with it.
Yeah.
So when this person dies, you're just like, all right, cool. I guess we said goodbye. The only reason they use it is so that Ganyetta is alone when they're attacked.
Right.
So that Merlin has that emotional arc to go through.
Right. But even that is this huge contrived mess because his squire, who was traveling with them,
Yeah.
should have been there. But for whatever reason, he's not
He
there.
gets to go with Merlin to say goodbye to Yoda.
Was he?
Yeah.
They
were riding back.
Oh.
So as they're riding back,
Oh, that's
Merlin
right.
gets like this vision. He's like, I sense something, a disturbance in the force. Stay here. And then he rides off alone. So he doesn't
that's
even,
right.
he doesn't even bring him with him when he goes to do the slaughter thing. He's just like alone. He finds Ginetta. And for whatever reason, the squire's just like, well, I guess I'll just stay here on the road till you're done. I don't know what I'm going to do, and I'm going to just stand here. I got this.
That's right. Yeah. But why would he bring, because why would you not bring your pregnant wife? I mean,
I kind of wish that he had left the squire back with his wife, because then the
he'd
squire
have
could die too.
That'd have been
It
cool.
was one of the more useless characters in the show, honestly.
We'd have been spared.
We would have been. Anyway, so he sees Ginetta dead, this pregnant wife, so he loses a child and her, and then goes all Anakin on it. And that part is cool. I like the concept of him like going ham and killing a bunch of people because of that.
Yeah, especially when in the ensuing fight, he's like clashing swords, and he's like, when he's slashing them, their shields are breaking and they're getting knocked back, and then like he clashes swords with them, and then like it turns their swords on fire, and then they catch on fire. And I was like, all right, that's pretty rad. Like he's using his powers, like in a way that I actually thought they depicted quite well. Instead of it being like this overt like Harry Potter magic stuff, it's it's a little bit more like it just sort of
grounded.
Yeah, it just sort of seems like something that almost could have happened without the fact that he's Merlin. And it's, you basically get to see it how the characters are watching, like, holy cow, that guy just traded blows with him and suddenly he's on fire. Yeah. How did that happen? And so that's kind of how it would be if you were fighting Merlin.
You would think. Personally, I wish they had gone a little bit more Harry Potter-esque, because the show doesn't do a great job of making him feel that powerful. Like, it's too much of, like, people standing in the background, not wanting to, like, attack him from behind, handling one at a time type of thing. Because they don't have the budget to do this. Like, they can't do... Even with Anakin, though, they were, like, it was a little bit more believable. Because he just kind of chops two heads off and then swings at a third one, and then you kind of get the rest. They don't really show you the rest. That you just know, like, okay, this Jedi just slaughtered a lot of these people, and it's kind of questionable.
Yeah.
When his mom dies. With this one, they, like, show you, but you're left with a lot of questions. You're like, how does he know that these are the ones that killed Ginetta? Why did they kill Ginetta? Why is he not questioning any of this? He just kills the first people that he finds. He just stands out in the middle of the forest until someone comes at him, and then he just annihilates all of them. So it's like, what if these aren't the people? Yeah. What if he finds out later, these aren't the ones? I'm going to go find someone else. Like, that's where it's just...
Well, again, they had the opportunity, because there's one guy who I guess they managed to defend off, and he's all wounded, and he's been abandoned, and he's still alive. He's like,
right.
And then Merlin goes up and just stabs him. And I was like, wait a minute, isn't he going to be like, where were your people, or where did you come from, or something? Get some information so he can hunt them down. I mean, that's what Anakin does.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
True.
Like, it's amazing how much better of a sequence the Anakin transformation is in Attack of the Clones.
In Attack of the Clones.
You see him talking with like Jawas and stuff, right? And they like point and like give him information to figure out where they are.
But his mom's not dead then, so he's not like emotionally perturbed enough to where he wouldn't be asking questions. But still,
the fact
he knows that she's kidnapped by Tusken Raiders.
Right, and the fact that George Lucas sat there and was like, well, wait a minute. He can't just go and start slaughtering Tusken Raiders randomly.
Yeah.
He has to find them, which means he has to do something that
leads up
discovers where they are.
For this one, I mean, yes, you did have that one guy, but it was one guy and he's still alive. And so it already felt really contrived. Just like, because you spent like 10 minutes watching Ginetta die because it takes her so long to die. Like, I got it. Move on. And that's why you feel like most of the episode, you're just like, dude, you're dragging this stuff out so long. Way longer than it even needs to be.
Everything's dramatic. Everything is emotional.
What was your line? The melodrama of the show? Is this exaggerated or something?
It has no bounds.
It's
just continuous, constant melodrama.
So he kills all these people. And like I said, the emotional arc behind it is good. But like the execution's not great. I wish that he'd like come upon their camp. And, like, maybe he's dragging the wounded guy with him. He's like, these are people. And he's like, ugh, and then he, like, kills him. And then he just sets fire to all the tents or something. That would have been a lot more impactful to me.
Yeah, that's good. I like that.
It's like, you're going to let me live now. Like, you know.
Yeah, it's amazing how simple the fixes are.
I know.
It's just incredible how all you have to do is just like, how about just this?
Just this little bit. Because then you don't have to, like, have this huge budget for him fighting however many guys that were in that wood.
Mm-hmm.
You just like can show a bunch of tents on fire and like kill one person, and then Merlin can have the emotional impact of the fact like, I just killed all these people.
Yeah, I just sent them all up in flames and everything. Yeah.
So here's where we're gonna get to the big mistake, because in this moment, Kenyatta's dad runs up for whatever reason. He
Yeah,
just
he's just
appears.
spontaneously there, I guess.
He's like, he runs up and he grabs Merlin, and Merlin, without looking, turns around and chops off his arm. Just because he's in the heat of the battle or whatever. But then, even after that, he's not like considering, oh no, I did this thing. He then goes for the kill after seeing this father-in-law of his. He's like, oh no. And then someone calls his name or something, and he's like,
the
snaps
Squire
out of
guy,
it.
Yeah.
Then he runs off.
Mm-hmm. He just
Takes
into
off.
the woods. Yeah.
Here's the information they give you from this. He runs off into the woods for 50 years. 50. We double checked. 50 years.
Right. And you can tell because he's all like his hair's grown out and he's just like, oh, in a cave. And that's how we saw him in the very first episode, I think. They were like, his future is going to be this. He'll be this haggard, dejected, sad, pathetic sort. And so when it was like, and even back there, I'm pretty sure it says captions 50 years later. So you're like, okay. So there's like a 50-year jump at some point where he goes from the Merlin we know to the decrepit, old, defeated Merlin.
Which, to some extent, I like. They did explain that he ages slower than everybody else. But then it shows that everyone else also doesn't age.
Right.
What? Because
So
the person who finds him is his squire, who hasn't aged a day.
Yeah.
Because he's like, Merlin. I'm like, aren't you supposed to be in your like 70s by now? But no, he's great. Father-in-law is great.
Everyone's same as they
Everyone's fantastic. Everyone is exactly the same age. I was like, you said 50. You told me 50 years. But then,
what am I supposed to do with that information?
Right. I'm going to assume that it's been 50 years. But apparently it has not.
How dare you?
Idiot.
You fool.
You accepted the information I gave you moron. But I did, like an idiot, like a fool that I am.
You were totally duped by that. It was a red herring,
stupid me.
Obviously.
So I'm wondering if somewhere in there, and this is where, I'd ask you comment, if you've read the books or something, maybe like time goes for him, but not for anyone else. Is that like the thing? Or is it like
everyone else is Atlantean as well?
Or everyone else like doesn't age, or I don't know.
My thinking was that perhaps, see, it's not a great reason, but like perhaps
giving us something.
Yeah, it's sort of like whenever I see those future scenes, they're not. It's like those future scenes are actually for like kind of season 2 in a way, and they're just kind of just like throw them aside. They haven't happened yet. They don't happen until the end. So the end, Merlin puts the sword in the stone and wanders off. Then he becomes the
that's
the
50 years later thing.
Then it's
not
50
the
years.
fact that he cut his father-in-law's arm off. That's not emotional enough for him to run off.
Oh yeah, that doesn't work because the arm was there and that was not.
His wife dies, his son or his child dies, and he cuts off his father-in-law's arm.
Well, maybe he chopped. No, gosh darn it, it doesn't work.
It doesn't. No,
because the Squire character, it's that freaking Squire character. If not for him, I could probably solve it.
You could deal with it. But you can't.
Because
they had to shove him in there for no reason.
And you know what's so weird is that Merlin gets found out when he's like the 50-year jump by a character who looks like he should be Merlin.
Yeah.
Because he's like old with the long beard and everything.
The classic Merlin.
Right. And then we were like, wait a minute, is that supposed to be the Squire aged up? And so your mind sort of starts to accept that, like, well, this is someone he knows, so I guess that would have to be it, right? And then he leaves. He just kind of evaporates. He's no longer a thing. He gets replaced with Merlin's dad, who should be dead. He has a long conversation with his dad. His dad then disappears. Then it pans over, and who do we see? The Squire, young and youthful again. And it's like, wait a minute. What?
Yeah. Hold on.
What if Merlin was sent in like a time warp?
That's what I'm saying. Maybe he's like in some kind of purgatory or something, and that's why he's seeing his dad.
Oh, yeah. Maybe that's what it is. Because they did say he's in his own hell. But then who's the guy who looked like Merlin? I just want to call him Merlin, but obviously I can't because someone else has that name.
Is that like the god of the character, the Great Light or something?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know.
But he was cool. I wanted more of that guy.
He was great. Him and the Horned God and Morgian and like more of that stuff, less of this garbage.
You know what's interesting too? The guy who had that man murdered by his dogs, that guy actually had quite a bit of character development.
He did.
Like, he's someone I could at least understand, because when he murders that man, it's kind of like I actually like got to learn something about that character and was like, despite how insane this whole scenario was, at least I understood that he's just like I don't put up with anything.
Yeah.
You cross the line, I'm sicking my dog on you, and that's the end.
Yep.
And then that actually matches up with how bitter he was that his daughter had been killed.
Right. Yeah, because in the last episode or two, or whatever it was, when Merlin goes to ask for his help, he's all mad because his daughter got killed.
Yeah. And so all of that starts to make sense. But then there's like this unnecessary curveball for no reason. His village town gets attacked. And when it gets attacked, Merlin comes in and like kills a bunch of people and saves everybody. Well, when that happens, the big thing is that he saves this old man who's his friend. And then they like coronate Merlin and like celebrate him as like this great person.
Well, I think he's
the whole time this is going on, I'm like, where's Brett Cooper's dad? Like, where's that?
If I read it correctly, Brett Cooper's dad is in like an actual fortress, and this was like a town, and that old guy was like the town leader. And so that's when he
was like a different place.
Yes. The incomprehensible nature and the lack of sequential like progression
that would make sense.
So much confusion because that happens. Some randos attack this village. Merlin helps save it, and then he like adopts him. Like, oh, you're my son now. And so I think that's the birthright that we were addressing a couple episodes ago. I think that's what they're doing there.
Okay. All right. That makes sense now. God.
But it's it's so incomprehensible.
Sheesh.
That it's constantly like shoving things in, and they're like, remember? And you're like, I think so. I don't know. Maybe. But also, they don't know what they're doing when they're writing anyway. I mean, the 50-year thing, I can't get over that. That's such a
it's impossible.
Huge mistake.
You're never going to square it. I don't see how anybody could explain it. If you can explain it, please do so.
Please do.
Because it was just mind-boggling. It was like, what? How could it have gone on for so long? But I do like the purgatory answer.
Sure.
I think that kind of fixes it a little bit. It's like, okay, 50 years for him, kind of like Gandalf, where he... Oh, freaking A. It's constantly copying other things. There was a point of this we were watching. It was getting irritating because you kept quoting Lord of the Rings lines or Star Wars lines.
Or Game of Thrones.
And I couldn't be mad at you because they kept doing it. It was like they asked for it. It was just like, oh, we're too few. And then just like at least less than half of what we'd hoped for. And it was like, oh my God, can't you write anything original?
Yeah, or the Granny Yoda. Like, I need to rest. I was like, really?
That one was funny.
Stop it.
That one was funny because they weren't even trying to have a different kind of scene. They just wanted Granny Yoda all over again.
Again, though, I mean, if you had given the emotional weight and made us understand who she was to him.
Like you see her teaching him when he's a boy and stuff like that.
Give us some wizard training or something. Like, that would be cool. Mm-hmm. But
yeah,
you
also
don't get
that's
any
something
of
that pissed me off about this show. Sorry, I know you asked for me something positive.
You're doing great. What'd you like? I liked that I hated it, and I liked all these things that I hated.
Why is Merlin a bard? He's supposed to be a wizard. He's like, I can't do the sword because it's possessing me like the One Ring, so I can't do it. It's like every time he grabs the sword, it's like, so he can't do that.
So good.
And so then, it's like his mom's like, well, you'll have a different weapon, and it's the lute. And like, I like the song though.
The song was good.
The song was great. Like the music was great. He had a good singing voice.
Oh yeah. We should mention again, as we have done in the last couple episodes, Kyle, 2 thumbs up, sir.
Kyle's killing it.
That composer is a phenomenal man.
Yeah, he did a great job. I especially like the bit at the end battle scene where Uther, or not Uther, what's the other guy's name?
Aurelius.
Yeah, Aurelius is trying to like rally the troops. And that man just has no presence.
Yep.
So there's no music to help him.
Yep. Kyle's like, you are on your own, sir. You suck. I'm not going to help you. Yeah, they try to do this whole like Braveheart thing where he's trying to rally everybody, So he has to do the speech, but he doesn't move, because like Braveheart does it. Lord of the Rings does it.
Yeah, they're like writing.
Narnia, I think, does it.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings does it twice.
Lord of the Rings does it, and so
With
they like
Theoden?
ride up and down the line. So like rally. He just
down, ride down.
I just want to go watch that now. But no, he just sits in the same spot. He has no motion and no emotion. He just kind of is like, we're Britain. Come on. And then he like gets back in line, and then Kyle's like, all right, I'll come back with music now. But he just totally lets him float on his own.
I think he must have done that on purpose. It must have been intentional that we're supposed to see him as like the lesser king.
Right.
Because that's the thing
maybe.
is he passes over his sword to Uther, who, as much as I don't like this character either, at least he has, like, in the context of like war and rallying troops, he can do that.
He did do that. That's fair. Yeah. Well, it's mostly his deep yelling voice.
Well, because he uses it everywhere. That's what makes him ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, how's it going?
You make him fire. Ridiculous. Can't stand that guy.
But
Okay.
like when it's the war scene, then it's a little bit more believable because that's when he needs that kind of voice.
Yes.
So
Yeah, that's
I'll give
fair.
him that.
Otherwise, it's just
But yeah, outside
so
of that,
fake.
it's so forced. It's just like,
me brooding, angry, mad.
yeah, he was like a Batman kind of, like a.
It's like the Lego Batman. Are you
Yes.
sad about your parents again? No. Just like standing in the room. No. All right. Back to it. Do you like anything about the show?
I liked that song.
Okay. The song was good.
And there was one with Taliesin that I liked too. I like this one even more. I think this one was really good.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's like a weird. Again, it's a weird merit for it to have because like everything's so melodramatic. You
I
would
like
think
that you don't like
wouldn't
that he's a
work.
bard, but when he sings, all right, the song's good.
The
I'll
song
take
is
it.
good. Like I have to separate the 2 points because I want Merlin with his staff being like, ooh,
So this is what they
wizardry.
mean when you separate the art from the artist. That's
Yeah,
that's it.
yeah, basically. But the song was fantastic. I was like, wow, it's really good. I also liked this. There's in the flash forward, whatever it is.
In the Flash.
In the flash. In the weird purgatory space that makes no effing sense.
Yeah.
In that sequence, Merlin is like, his hair's grown out. He's all sad because his wife died and he feels bad because he killed all those men.
Terrible day.
And he's just like, oh, and he's standing in this river. And then his father is there and he's like washing him. And then, Merlin's like sad and he's crying. And he's like, I failed. And then his dad's like, then you just have to try again, and kind of has this moment of encouragement. And like, it's just amazing what you can do with like a little restraint on the dialogue.
Yeah.
And like
A little
some
subtlety,
good
maybe.
performances,
Yeah.
a competent score, a setting that's like somewhat interesting to look at visually. It was just like a moment where I was like, oh my gosh, this scene is working. Sheesh. Like, why is it so hard to find a scene that's just effective? Because even when the one where he's like sicking the dog on that guy, because it has that cringe-worthy moment where you see him pull out the knife and it's just like, make sure you've got a visual of it. It's just like we could all see what's happening now.
Right.
They don't do anything to show like the dad like, what say you? The rest of you, turning his face away. So you're like, oh, he doesn't see a knife coming. It doesn't quickly pull it out like a split second cut. So you're like, oh my gosh, that was a fast knife. No, it's the slow drawn out while he's looking at him. And it's just in the editing room, they seem to not recognize that we're all looking at it and the characters. We see everything happening. So there's just like, it just totally eludes them. And then you have this other moment where I'm like, well, this moment worked. That's fine. So what happened? Like, what's the difference between these two? And we keep wanting to point to the direction.
I don't know.
Because it's like, but it's inconsistent all over the place. Like there's a scene, I think the last episode, the opening scene, you were saying, okay, this kind of works. You have Uther right up on this horse.
Oh, yes.
And he's looking at the encampment.
Okay, but the only reason it worked was because you could just see clearly. That's the only thing I wanted. But they had been so consistent in not giving you any kind of scale of where anybody was in regards to anyone else or anything else, that this one, you had it behind Aurelius, and then from over his shoulder, you can see the camp that he's looking at. And you can see like the landscape. They're like on these cliffs that are looking over the ocean. So you could see the ships, see the army, and you could see what Aurelius was seeing. I was like, all right. I mean, I know that sounds really stupid, but literally that's as much as it gave you and what it doesn't give you the rest of the show. It was like, oh, I can see the scale of everything. He's alone looking at a big army, and that's his That's his nemesis or whatever. And you can see that the ships are coming in to provide reinforcements.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. That's it. That's all you needed for the whole show. But that's what he's talking about here, is that the inconsistency of it is so frustrating because you're like, I know you're capable. 3 minutes ago, you did a good one.
Right.
But this time, we can't do it this good. It's like, it's the same rule.
It's the same.
Just apply what you just did. Whatever. Anyway, it was so incredibly incomprehensible and frustrating.
Was there anything you liked about it? We've not already covered.
I think I agree with you. I like Brett Cooper's performance. I like the Merlin guy. He does a good job, like just acting wise and an objective.
Yeah.
You know, him coming in and bringing something to the screen is good.
Yeah, he brings presence and good delivery.
Yeah. His father-in-law, that I don't remember all these characters' names, but I think he was a good actor. Like, I like his presence on screen.
Mm-hmm.
I like...
How about the Squire character?
Should have killed him off first episode. They should have had him and been like, this is the comic relief. We're just going to get rid of him because we're just melodrama.
Also, side note, why does that character have a curved sword? It's like a katana almost.
Oh, yeah.
What the heck?
There was a couple of scenes in here where you could tell that the cast member was like, can I have this? And no one was like, no, that doesn't fit.
Oh, yeah, like the bandit, and he had like the bandit.
He had like, some weird like face mask, and then he had a curved sword, and it's just like, stop it. You guys should have consistency here with what you're trying to do with thematically, but whatever. I liked, for as copious as it was, I liked the B-roll. Wherever they were shooting is a beautiful place. So it's nice to look at.
Yeah, it makes me want to look up, like, where did they shoot this?
It's like Ireland or something, I imagine.
It's beautiful out there, wherever it is.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, some of those shots were really nice. There was one where it's like I remember it because there was like the slope of the hill, and there was like, it was like a guy or his horse or something. He was like looking out over the sunset. I was like, wow, that looks really great. Oh yeah, there was this amazing shot. I was like, this is so effective. It's when Merlin leaves his wife, and it's just like, it's kind of high up, and it's looking down at their like, kind of encampment. You got Merlin, his wife, and the Squire character, and they're in a conversation. There are these two trees on both sides, kind of
like framing them,
yeah, and then it's just slowly pushing in, and all the dialogue is handled from this one angle, and then, you know, the Squire's like, well, let me come with you. Oh, that's right, the Squire asked to come with him. Doesn't he say no?
No, he says, yeah, sure.
Oh, I guess he says yes. I missed that. I was distracted because I was like, well, I was like, well, this is good. Like, this looks nice.
It's a really competently shot scene. What do you know?
Yeah, I was like, we accomplished so much. I liked the
Well, then
the
he
visual.
walks off screen, and then it centers in on him and his wife.
Right.
And that's also really nice, and it's still accomplished in the same
goes
shot.
into the intimacy of the two of them.
Right.
And then, if I'm not mistaken, Merlin walks off, and then it starts to pull away, and it's like he's going to lose her. And I was like, great visual storytelling.
Phenomenal.
Awesome. Okay,
Again,
I'll go with it.
They're
not
capable
hard.
of that, but not all the time.
Right. It's so sparse that then you just get all these other scenes that are just like, well, this makes no sense. Well, this has no emotional weight. Well, who is this? And you're just question.
What's that line in The Dark Knight Rises? What makes torment effective or whatever? And it's hope. It's like they show you just enough. They show you just enough competency for you to be frustrated at the other incompetencies.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so you are capable. You can do this, and you're choosing not to? Is that what it is? What is this?
I feel betrayed.
Yeah, we could make this better, but we're not gonna. So otherwise, some of the visuals are okay. Some of the battle scenes are decent.
They got better in these last two. Early on, it was really not good in the season, but near the end, I was like, okay, some of these fights actually look all right. They're passable.
You could tell that they saved a lot of the budget for the end. They're like, we really got to nail this. They didn't, but it looks better. So,
yeah.
Okay. Anything else you want to address before we move into the end?
I'm good.
So the one other thing that I'd really like to harp on is that they're trying to bring in that Morgan has been manipulating behind the scenes for all of this to go down.
Yeah.
But you haven't seen a whole lot of how she's manipulating things. You just get at the end, she's having this dialogue with Merlin, and she's trying to tempt him over the dark side or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
which is all fine and good. Okay, all right.
Yeah, that's something Morgan should be doing.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I like the thought process behind it. The execution of her being the one that manipulated all this into what it is wasn't handled real well.
Yeah, because why does she want this war? How does she benefit from the Saxons or whatever they were winning?
Right. And
Made
then
no
it's
sense.
kind of implied that she's like flirting with her nephew or something. She's like, well, I couldn't have your father, so I want you. And I'm like,
I don't think that's what that was.
I'm hoping I'm misinterpreting. She's
I
just
think-
an overly sensual character with whoever she's around.
I think despite it not, I mean, it wasn't Jeremy Boring directing this one, so I
Right,
can't
yeah.
put the blame there.
So we couldn't put a lot of booty shots and stuff in there. It couldn't
But-
be as overly blatant.
But I feel like it was the same trait that carried over
Okay,
of just
sure.
like, oh, she's a sexy character, so she does sexy things. And without really them stopping to think about the context for why this would be so freaking weird.
Right. That's fair. Okay. Well, that aside, like I said, I like the idea behind the scene. It didn't really land too well because that hadn't been the focus of the show up until now.
Which it should have been.
It should have been.
honestly.
It should have been a Morgan versus Merlin.
Yeah.
show. Like that
And
would have been
them doing
fantastic.
power plays behind the scenes
Right.
while all this conflict's around. Like, because that's those characters.
Yeah. And I know that
Hey.
people will point to it and be like, well, it was, and you see that at the end how it all comes together or whatever, but wasn't done very well at all.
No.
Like, if you look at something like Game of Thrones, where you're watching Cersei and how she's vying for power and using her abilities to, playing to her own strength,
right.
it's clear, but also, like, there's a lot of subterfuge. It's not always clear which way she's going until you get there.
Yeah.
But you see that she's playing,
Right.
and that's why it's the Game of Thrones. That's the thing, is like that, when it does come around, it sometimes it's shocking, sometimes it's like, I should have seen that coming.
Yeah.
With Morgan, when she shows up, it's like, oh, were you involved in this whole thing? Okay. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose so.
But I mean, you don't even get to see like the main antagonist a whole lot. You just know that there's this Saxon king that has this army, and that's all you know about him.
Uh-huh.
And he kills someone brutally at the very beginning or something. But I would have liked to see more of him. For like an example, there would be Skarsgård. What's his name? The dad, the elderly one. Now,
What? In
the actor Skarsgård.
in Dune?
No. Yeah. Oh, yes. What's his name?
Skarsgård.
What his first name?
Stellan.
Stellan Skarsgård plays a Saxon king in a King Arthur film. Who
No,
has?
that's not him, is it?
It is him.
Is that him?
He's a crazy good actor.
Wow.
We'll have to go back and watch that one. Good movie.
Hmm.
It's with Clive Owen and Keira
Yeah,
Knightley.
that's a pretty good
It's a great movie.
King Arthur story. It made
is.
sense. I could follow this
Yes, it did.
plot.
There's not a lot of Merlin, but
I felt for the characters at the end. I thought
Right.
it was sad.
Yep. So he shows up and he's like this Saxon lord, and he's like really intimidating on screen.
Oh, yeah.
He's a terrifying villain, but like you understand, you don't have to show a whole lot of him, just enough.
Yeah.
Just enough. You don't get to see a whole lot of this guy at all. You just see that he's there, and it's like, well, how is he being manipulated by Morgan then? Is it just like you don't understand any of it, how any of it plays together? You just know that Morgan comes up and is like, I've been manipulating this the whole time.
Yeah.
You're like, okay. Well, I wish that was impactful to me. I just kind of want the show to be over at this point. Like, just make it end, please. Just dragging this out.
I think that's where we might disagree, is that you would like to have seen more. I would like to have seen less.
Of the show. That's
Yeah,
fair.
I'm just kidding.
I liked Morgan. She's a good the actress was good. And
Yeah.
like the concept was good. Should have leaned into it more.
Yeah, that's the whole thing, is that I hate this, like, they were so afraid to have their good characters painted in a bad light,
Yeah.
or make a mistake that was too grave, or apart from the one where he abandons what's her name, but they felt like they did it on themselves because they're like, well, we dragged him out of that for no reason. And then, they're too afraid to have any kind of consequence for these characters. Like, Aurelius should have been killed. He was about to be. There was a hint at the end afterwards when they keep him alive that it seems like he's getting Uther's girl.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, that's good tension and drama between the two brothers. That can go somewhere. But it's just like, man, like all this time and just like everybody gets off scot-free, bad guys lose, heroes win, the end. That's really what it felt like it was boiling down to. And I was like, this is boring.
The
Like,
only
I don't want that.
consequences that I felt actually landed somewhat were when Merlin goes all ham and kills all his people.
Yeah.
and he cuts off his father-in-law's arm, that feels like an actual consequence that's
because it was
lasting.
a reaction to an action. So it was like, okay, one thing led to another. Consequence. Got it. Okay.
Fantastic. More of that. But then, yeah, that's like the only one that I actually felt was impactful in any kind of way. Aside from that, I gotta say, I'm not.
It's just a drought instantly.
Yeah.
It's like a drop. That's all you get.
I don't know what else to say about the show because I really didn't like it. I thought they really missed on this one big time.
Yeah.
I like that they gave some of those actors a chance to shine in some way. Like at least they got those jobs and were able to throw something on their resume. And most of them did do a good job. Yeah,
I never felt like anybody. It never feels like everyone's just goofing off or nobody's trying.
Yeah.
That's not what it feels like. It feels like the actors and everyone is trying to do a good job here. It's just the script is in such a disastrous state, and the directors have no idea what to tell the extras, what to tell the actors, how to interpret the script properly, what to tell the editors to make sure that they can make sense of all this. And the editors, like, what were you guys doing? It's like there's shots where it just like it cuts to a totally different time, totally different place, and we're supposed to believe that it's the same location just from a different angle. It's like, I'm sorry, I'm not buying that. That looks totally different. It's like nothing like what we were just looking at. Like nothing. This is why you're supposed to do color, it's like color correction or whatever.
Gotcha.
And like, I get it, color correction's hard. I did a little bit in college and I was like, this is tough work. Like this is actually profoundly difficult. Like when you're capturing footage, I did a film project, we had 2 cameras rolling, and when we looked at the footage afterwards, we came to find out that the colors on each camera looked slightly different. And you couldn't really tell when you were filming it, obviously. Sure. But when we brought it into editing room, we was like, well, these 2 look totally different. So what we had to do is painstakingly fix one of them to try to make it look like the other. And I think we admirably did a pretty decent job to where it would look pretty close. You didn't notice it that bad. But it was just like, man, like, I get that it's tough, but you got to do it. Like, you've got to make sure.
This is your response. You made the show. I didn't make the show. You made the show.
Yeah, and like you were saying, none of these scenes take place at night. Like, there's a few
so
night
many
scenes, but it's so much of it is in the day with this, like, confounding sun, just like the God rays in your face all the time. It's like, get rid of the stupid God rays.
Well, specifically, the scene where he loses Gagnetta. It's during the day.
Why?
Then they're, like, showing him, and there's, like, the sun coming down on his head and stuff. I'm like, okay, this is, like, 101.
Right.
Throw some rain in there. Throw some mist in there. Like, I know it's melodramatic, but the rest of the show's melodramatic. Just like,
you need something to help.
Right.
And like even the camera work, because when he falls down like next to her, the camera like tilts and then falls over with him.
Yeah.
So the camera operator was on the same page as the character with the emotional tone. Why was the production designed just in broad daylight? That makes no sense.
Throw some rain in there. Just do it. Like he's sad, the sky's sad. I don't know, just like bring us in with you. And then clear it up before he makes the slaughter. Like, stuff like that.
Right.
Because then, once, like, let's say we went with my route. He drags the wounded guy to the camp and says, these are people, these are my people. He butchers him.
Yeah.
Kills everybody in the camp. And then as that happens, the sun rises. And it's like a blood, dawn or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Because then it's like, there's all this visual storytelling of, like, a new day has come, but it's a bad one.
Yeah.
Like now you have to rest with the decisions you made of the night before.
Right.
So like it's stuff in there that's really impactful. I know it sounds really stupid, but there were so many like tonal differences, contrasts that were so jarring that it was hard to understand the emotional impact they were going for. It was like, what's happening? You have God rays behind you and he's distraught. This doesn't fit. It doesn't work.
Right.
But they have it in there and no one was like, we should change this.
Yeah.
No one did it. Anyway.
No one did that throughout the whole process, it feels like. Like, no one sat down and said, wait a minute, 50 years. Well, he looks really young to have gone 50 years.
He's old now.
He should be ancient.
He's old now.
In fact, everybody would have to look that way. It's like these people have no concept of time. If it is the purgatory thing, you can't just, like, flippantly say that. Like...
Yeah, you have
need to do something to visually show that's what's happening.
Right.
And like, it doesn't need to be that expensive. You just need to do, I mean, look at like Lord of the Rings when Gandalf is going through they clearly watched Lord of the Rings. I don't know why they couldn't do this. You have this one shot where
yes.
Gandalf is laying down in a bed and it's all white, and then it's just panning away from him, and then he's like, and he like kind of wakes up and he's reborn or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, where was he? How complicated was that to shoot? Just like a white bed sheet. There you go.
You don't have to show anything.
Right.
It can be left up to interpretation. That's the point.
Right.
Is that you can understand it. It's not something you've gone through. Oh, I hope not. But it's not something you would understand. So.
Yeah. I'll tell you, easy fix. When you see Merlin huddled up in that cave or whatever, put it in black and white.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. Just set it to black and white or sepia or something like that.
Do the infrared thing that Denis did with Dune.
Yeah. Well, that would be a lot harder to work with.
It would be.
But yes, like you do something to that effect.
Sure.
And then it's like, oh, a different time and place, something very different.
Or maybe
now.
it's just nighttime the whole time that he's out there. Just dark.
Just
you know?
dark.
I really wanted some dark in here because I was like, please. He's going through a dark time in his life. Like, just, it's all right. He's the even fall of, Merlin, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's amazing, too, how much better the Anakin Skywalker arc looks comparatively.
Oh, I know.
Which is just amazing to me because I never thought it. Because we make fun of that all the time. And I'm just like,
a terrible movie.
That was actually pretty decent.
It was. It's like the one good thing about it. But even when he's like flying out there, the sun's setting. And then by the time he gets to Shmi, then it becomes night. And it's like the sun has set on Anakin's, hopes.
Yeah.
And he has now gone to the dark side. Like, simple visual storytelling. That's it. That's all you need. Anyway.
I'm done.
Yeah, me too.
I'm done with the show. It was fun, as obnoxiously irritating.
It's a fun hate watch, I'll say.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Anyway. Don't recommend. But if you want something entertaining to watch, if you want to dislike something, DailyWire's Pendragon, Rise of the Merlin. That's it. We await season 2 anxiously.
Oh, God. Do you
Thank
think
you
they'll
for
do
watching.
it?
I think so, yeah.
They probably.
Well, I don't know. Maybe if this is successful enough, then they'll affirm the budget or whatever. But, Anyway, thank you for watching. So you made it to the end of the video. If you liked it, please consider subscribing and leave us a comment. We'd love to hear what you thought.